The arena felt different long before the first bell ever rang. There was a weight in the air, the kind that settles over a crowd when everyone in the building understands they are about to witness something that will be talked about long after the lights go dark. Amanda Serrano stood in her corner with the calm of a seasoned champion, her expression unreadable, her body loose but coiled, like an athlete who had already played this moment through, in her mind, 1,000 times. Across the ring, Reina Tellez moved lightly on her feet, eyes sharp, shoulders relaxed, absorbing the noise without letting it consume her. This wasn't just another fight on a crowded calendar. This was a collision of momentum, preparation, and belief. A night where reputation and ambition were set on a direct course toward each other. From the opening seconds, the contrast in styles was impossible to miss. Serrano came forward with intent, not recklessly, but with that familiar, relentless pressure that has defined so much of her career. Every step she took cut off space. Every feint served a purpose, testing reactions and mapping out patterns. Tellez responded with movement and discipline, circling just enough to stave off the ropes, letting her hands go in short, sharp counters that snapped back to guard. It was clear immediately that survival in the early rounds wasn't about running or retreating. It was about timing, precision, and the ability to read danger before it fully arrived. The first round set the tone for everything that followed. Serrano's combinations came in waves, hooks to the body followed by straight shots upstairs, her punches thrown with bad intentions but measured accuracy. Tellez absorbed the pressure without panic, slipping just outside the arc of power shots and answering with crisp counters that reminded everyone watching that she hadn't come simply to endure. Each exchange felt like a small chess match unfolding at full speed, where a fraction of a second decided whether a punch landed clean or skimmed past harmlessly. As the rounds progressed, the tension built steadily, rather than exploding all at once. Serrano's high pace began to test Tellez's conditioning, forcing her to stay mentally locked in at all times. One lapse, one slow reaction, and the fight could change in an instant. Analysts had warned that Serrano's ability to adjust mid-fight was one of her greatest weapons, and it showed in subtle ways. She altered her rhythm, doubled up on shots that had previously been single punches, and began targeting the body with renewed focus, aiming to sap the challenger's legs and breathing. Tellez, however, refused to be broken early. Her adaptability became her lifeline. She changed angles, shortened her movements, and picked her moments carefully, understanding that trading combinations recklessly would only play into Serrano's hands. When Serrano pressed too aggressively, Tellez answered with counters that stopped her forward momentum, buying herself crucial seconds to reset. The crowd reacted audibly each time the challenger landed clean, sensing that the balance of the fight was more delicate than the betting odds might have suggested. By the middle rounds, fatigue began to whisper its presence into both corners. Serrano's pace never truly slowed, but the effort required to maintain it became more visible. Sweat flew with every exchange, and the sound of punches landing echoed sharply through the arena. Tellez's footwork remained sharp, though her breathing grew heavier, her shoulders rising just a little higher between combinations. This was the phase of the fight everyone had anticipated, where strategy and endurance would collide head-on. Serrano leaned into her experience during these moments, using ring control to dictate where exchanges happened. She guided Tellez toward the ropes, not by chasing, but by positioning, cutting off escape routes and forcing her opponent to fight in narrower spaces. It was here that Serrano's combinations became especially dangerous, flowing seamlessly from body to head, each punch setting up the next. Tellez's guard held firm, but the cumulative effect was undeniable. Every blocked shot still carried force, still drained energy, still chipped away at resolve. Yet just when it seemed the momentum might tilt decisively, Tellez found moments of brilliance. A perfectly timed counter here, a sharp combination there, and suddenly the fight shifted again. One exchange in particular sent a ripple through the crowd as Tellez landed a clean, snapping combination that briefly stunned Serrano, reminding everyone that even champions are not immune to surprise. For a split second, the narrative cracked open, revealing the possibility of an upset that felt thrillingly real. The later rounds became a test of focus and decision-making under fatigue. Serrano continued to press, her tactical mind clearly at work as she searched for openings, adjusted her angles, and varied her attack. She knew that mistakes were more likely now. When muscles burned and reactions slowed, Tellez, aware of the danger, stayed disciplined, refusing to abandon her game plan even as exhaustion set in. Her counters grew more selective, each one thrown with intent, understanding that a single well-timed combination could change everything. The atmosphere in the arena intensified with every passing minute. Fans leaned forward in their seats, sensing that the fight was approaching a breaking point. Every round carried critical implications, not just for the scorecards, but for the story being written in real time. Serrano's dominance was never absolute. but her control was undeniable. A product of years spent mastering the nuances of pressure fighting, Tellez's resistance added layers of drama, transforming the bout into something far more compelling than a straightforward showcase. As the championship rounds approached, the physical toll became impossible to ignore. Serrano's bodywork had taken effect, slowing Tellez just enough to create openings that hadn't existed earlier. The challenger's movement remained intelligent, but the sharpness dulled slightly, and Serrano capitalized, stepping in with combinations that landed more consistently. Each exchange felt heavier, more consequential, as though the fight itself was urging both women toward a definitive conclusion. Then came the sequence that changed everything. Serrano, sensing vulnerability, increased the pressure just a fraction, letting her hands go with a ferocity that electrified the crowd. A combination landed clean, followed by another, each punch flowing naturally into the next. Tellez fired back with heart and determination, refusing to fold, but the momentum had shifted decisively. The exchanges grew wild, the technical chess match giving way to a raw test of willpower and resilience. In that moment, the fight transformed into exactly what fans had hoped for, an epic war. Both fighters stood their ground, trading combinations that pushed their limits, neither willing to concede an inch. Serrano's experience shone through as she maintained composure amid the chaos, her punches still precise despite the intensity. Tellez's courage was undeniable, her refusal to back down earning the respect of everyone watching, even as the odds stacked against her. The ending came suddenly, yet felt inevitable. Serrano found the opening she had been searching for all night, a perfectly placed combination that broke through Tellez's guard and landed with devastating effect. The impact echoed through the arena as Tellez went down, the culmination of relentless pressure, strategic patience, and raw power. The referee stepped in, the crowd erupted, and the moment was sealed into boxing history as Serrano raised her hands in victory. The magnitude of the moment settled in. This was more than another win. It was a statement, a reaffirmation of her legacy as one of the most formidable forces in the sport. Yet even in defeat, Tellez's performance resonated. She had pushed the champion, tested her limits, and announced herself as a serious contender among boxing's elite. The fight was not defined solely by the knockout, but by the journey that led there, by the tension, the adjustments, and the unwavering heart displayed by both fighters. In the aftermath, analysts would dissect every round, every adjustment, every decision made under pressure. They would point to Serrano's pace, accuracy, and adaptability as decisive factors, while praising Tellez's tactical discipline and determination. Momentum had swung repeatedly, creating a narrative rich with drama and complexity. This was the kind of fight that reminded everyone why boxing endures, why preparation, skill, and heart matter as much as raw power. For fans around the world, the bout delivered on every promise. It was action-packed, strategically rich, and emotionally charged. A testament to what happens when two fighters enter the ring fully prepared to give everything. Every punch, dodge, and counter contributed to a story that will be replayed and remembered. A night where legacy and ambition collided in unforgettable fashion. This wasn't just a fight, it was a showcase of what elite boxing looks like when pressure meets precision, when experience meets hunger, and when neither side is willing to surrender quietly. Amanda Serrano walked away with her legacy further cemented, while Reina Tellez walked away with respect earned through fire. Together, they created a chapter that boxing fans will revisit for years to come. If you enjoyed this dramatic breakdown and reliving of Amanda Serrano versus Reina Tellez, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in for more fight night stories, post-fight analysis, and deep dives into the biggest moments in boxing. Let us know in the comments who you thought had the edge in those crucial rounds and what fights you want to see